Hey, welcome to Ask Allison. So here's a question I know a lot of you have actually. How do I know when it's time to make the jump from my agency job to private practice when I'm the sole provider in my family? I'm worried about the cost of monthly insurance, paying privately, and just want to know financially when is a good time. I'd like to thank Therapy Notes for sponsoring us today. So first, the good thing is all you have to do is math. I want the data to tell you, not emotions. So you're going to need savings. And if you truly can't save money based on your income, and that's legitimate for many of us in agencies, then I'm going to encourage you to secure some cheaper free childcare, maybe like call in some favors, get over feeling like you're putting people out, and just ask and start your practice on the side. You will be tired. You will see less of the people you love, but if you do this right, it will be very, very short term. And then I want every dime from your practice beyond overhead to go into a savings account so that you will have savings. You're going to probably want to spend it because you're working really hard and you're telling yourself you deserve a cute new sweater or a night out. But those things are not going to solve your problem, and they're going to slow down your ability to launch and get out of the two-job situation. So I would suggest living exactly as you are right now financially. And if you get any extra from somewhere, put that in savings too. I want you to figure out how much you get paid from your job, including like what goes into your bank account, plus what they pay for your insurance. If you leave your job, you're going to probably qualify for subsidies on healthcare. So it's not going to be an astronomical number for health insurance right now. It will be much higher when you can afford it. You're not going to want to afford it because you're going to be like, oh, that's so much money. But you're going to be making so much more in private practice, most likely, that it's going to be like, okay. I very strongly suggest talking to a local insurance broker so that they can help you find the best deal. Ask other private practice therapists. That's how I found the person that I'm working with. It's just from one of our local Facebook groups. A few people, and one of my colleagues in the office actually, a few people talked about this one company, Hummingbird, for anybody in Asheville or Western North Carolina. Okay. I'm not telling you to include the benefits from your job like your paid time off or your 401k, because if your goal is to get out of the agency ASAP, we're talking about like liquid money, cash in hand, right? Once you have your number from your job, I want you to do the math to see how many clients you need to make the same amount. So if your paycheck pays you about $3,000 a month and they pay $500 towards your health insurance, even though your healthcare might be less, if you have subsidies, let's still be conservative and assume it's going to be whatever your insurance is currently charging your company. Try not to cry over the fact that you can get paid the same amount in very few hours as you're getting paid now for 40 plus hours. So like, let's say you're choosing to be private pay and you're charging $150. Your insurance plus paycheck was about $3,500 a month. If you're charging $1,500, that means you're going to need to see about 6 sessions to replace your income each week. So 6 sessions a week. I know it's awful compared to 40 plus. But we also have overhead and taxes to contend with. So we're going to kind of add those in. I am not a mathematician. I'm a social worker. So I'm going to put that out here right now. I hear an average of about 30% for overhead across the United States. In a place that's more rural, it might be much less. And a big expensive city, it might be more. But 30 is kind of like a safe conservative guess. As a non-accountant, I'm also not going to advise you on taxes, but I will say the way my practice has been set up, if I save 20%, I've got extra. And because when it comes to money, I like to be very conservative because I don't like worrying about money. Yeah, that's that. So 20% for taxes, 30% for overhead, that's 50% more than we estimated. This math is janky. I'm acknowledging that. The mathematicians in the crowd can let me know a better formula and put it in the comments. So I would increase, if you've got 6 hours to get paid the same amount, I would just jack it up to maybe like 11 hours. I mean, 20 plus 30 is 50% more, so that would be 9. But just to be safe, because money panic is the worst thing, I'd jack it up to 11 sessions per week. So if you've started your practice before you've quit your job, then you can kind of track progress and see how many calls am I getting per week or per month, how many of those are converting into clients. Now the math for this is going to be different if you're taking insurance. I want you to take the average amount of your insurance payouts if you're applying for insurance so that you can be safe. And the only way to really know what an insurance company is paying for sessions is to ask your colleagues in your same zip code. So popping it in the Facebook group, probably not going to happen. And we're also not supposed to tell people what we're getting paid by insurance. So that makes it weird. But often your friends will kind of tell you on the sly. So, but if you've started your practice and you're starting to track numbers, you're going to be able to better see when you're going to get to that 6 client mark. And if you have savings, you can probably hop off if you are replacing your income and you're noticing a pattern of when people call. If you're fearful and you want to make sure you're saving enough for both overhead and taxes as well before you launch, it depends on how toxic your work environment is probably and how stressed out you are working 2 jobs, then you can wait a little bit longer or you can hop a little bit sooner, but I want you to have savings. So don't rely too heavily on my math. Do your own. My goal is to help you think about how to think about it. If you need some help with your practice, we've got you covered soup to nuts in the Abundance Party. That's at abundanceparty.com. We cover like the preliminary stages like this to what to do when you're full and getting too many client calls. So we got you covered there. If you have questions for me for Ask Allison, please shoot me an email. ask@abundancepracticebuilding.com is the best way to do that. Thanks so much.